What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the PG Sports Podcast. Doing my second one of the day. Our special guest today is Joey Bradley. He's going to come on right now. Played at University of New Haven. And he plays overseas now, football. Let me get him in here. What's up, Joey? How's it going?
Good, brother. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. You're in Barcelona, right?
I am, man. Yeah, it's just had my dinner actually.
Hey, how's everything there with the coronavirus?
Dude, it's been an interesting couple months here. I
Mhm.
think starting this week is the first week we've been like allowed to go on walks at specific times depending on your age or whatever. They've kind of like split it up so that I guess not everyone's out at the same time, but for the time of like my age group, the big populous age group, which is like 25 to 45, like I've never seen the beaches and everything so busy, in that small allotted time. But no, man, it was cool. I mean, not cool. It was a struggle,
Yeah.
man. The lockdown for pretty much like 7, 8 weeks straight, just going to the store, not doing really anything else was a weird vibe.
So
But
is it still a lockdown or not really?
it's I mean, I guess we're in like phase one of
Yeah.
the no normal life. Like I think there's like three phases to it or something, but like phase one is you're allowed to go outside for like an hour a day during the specific times, and um, yeah, but still like none of the stores or none of the restaurants, anything like that aren't open. So
What about when you heard about all this, did you have a chance to come back to the US and you just didn't want to?
yeah, I did have a chance, and um, I'm living with my girl out here, and it was kind of like I could leave because literally like we had practice on like a Wednesday,
Yeah.
and then by Sunday was told like the season's pretty much over, and you can either go home or you can stay at, the coach and me were cool, like he knew I had a girl out here, and I
Mhm.
was like, well, I'd rather just stay out here than go home. And
Mhm.
I figured, I honestly, I didn't think it was going to be as big of a deal as it turned into. And so
Yeah.
I figured like there's other leagues that start up over here like in March, April, May, or wait, this happened end of March.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like there was other leagues that start up like April and May. And so I figured like I'll just wait around and like one of those leagues will start. And then like one by one those leagues started getting canceled or like postponed or whatever. And so now um I'm just kind of in a little bit of the limbo of like not sure what the football season's going to be like here or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I think everyone's kind of in limbo right now.
Dude, it's wild, man. And like
Yeah.
it's what we've never been in a situation like this before, so it's new for everyone, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so going into your football career, I know you went to University of New Haven. I think you went to a couple colleges, right?
Right, yeah, I was a JUCO guy and then played a season at University of North Dakota for a year and then finished up at New Haven.
Gotcha. Where are you originally from?
Just right outside Seattle, Washington, city called Issaquah,
Okay.
little suburb of Seattle, yeah.
Been all over the place.
Yeah, man, I've literally pretty much the last like within 3 months to 2 years moved every. Yeah, I've moved every 2 months to 2 years for the last 10 years, if that makes sense.
I gotcha.
So, so I've been bouncing all around.
So are you keep your luggages light?
Dude, at this point, yeah, like at this point now I have packing down to a science where like, okay, I know I wear like these two pair of jeans, a couple pairs of sweat, like I can get everything I need into just one checked bag.
Yeah.
I can get pretty much life into a checked bag, which is pretty dope.
Yeah. All right. So tell me a little bit about your college career, just like all the stops you made, and like almost just like what your experience was, just like being on the West Coast, being from the West Coast, going to Midwest and everywhere, and then you came to the East Coast. So yeah, let's break it down a little here.
Dude, yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it's a good question. I mean, and because it's different everywhere across the country for sure. And so going from like, I mean, like the high school I was that I went to is like a, you know, middle upper class city. Um, and then I went down to JUCO in like the Bay Area, like right outside of Oakland. And it wasn't like hood, but it wasn't like middle upper class, it wasn't like suburbia either. And so it was definitely like a blend, but that was fun for me. And so kind of being in the Bay, like
Oh,
shit, that was like 2009. Diablo Valley College.
oh, gotcha. You watch Last Chance U?
Yeah, yeah, for
They're,
sure.
they're having a college on from California this year. I just don't know who it was.
Oh, that's right. It might be Laney, I think. I've seen, I think
Oh,
I watched maybe like the first season of Last Chance U.
yeah.
And man, like it's
Yeah.
it's exact like it's real. Like that's exactly how it is. Like every day. Like people
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, you've seen it?" And I was like, "Yeah." It's like I live that shit, bro. Like that's what it's like, dude. Like there's
Yeah, you're right. It's
people like
college.
got guys wanting to fight each other in practice, guys wanting to fight coach. I mean, like you name it, it's happened in JUCO.
What?
And
Yeah. What about? Well, it's getting off topic a little bit, but
no,
um, like the coach took a lot of both coaches took a lot of heat for just being like aggressive and like yelling at their players. But when I talked to like all my football friends, they were like, that's like nothing. So what were your thoughts on that? Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's definitely like, I mean, I didn't see the second season, I don't think, with the guy who like really got shit for I'm not positive, but from what I saw, like it was a couple times get a little over the top and like
Yeah.
obnoxious, but shit, that's kind of part of like the old school football coaching approach or coaching in general
Yeah.
approach. And so, I mean, shit, growing up, my dad was my coach up until like high school. And I mean, he was a yeller, and then my high school coach was a yeller, and so like you make the wrong play, you knew before I even came back to the sideline because you could hear him. And so like that kind of stuff doesn't I feel lucky in a way that I got that when I was young because it's like now if someone talks badly at me or if some random person yells at me, a boss, or, whatever later down in life, it's like,
Yeah.
all right, no
Yeah.
worries.
Yeah.
So it was, I would say it's like, I would say nowadays though, that's becoming less common. Like the players coach, like the younger coach is becoming more and more like accepted and like enjoyed by the players. Because like shit, I knew some guys back in like they liked being yelled at.
Yeah.
Like that was enjoyment for them. So, but nowadays, I mean, I don't really like being yelled at. I understood when it was the right time and stuff, but like nowadays, like you can't even. Again, depends on the guy, but
Yeah.
not as many guys like to be yelled at.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. So tell me how you got to what was it, North Dakota?
Yeah, dude. So my one season I played in junior college, had a really, really good year. Fucking um led the nation in yards per game, touchdowns, and I have to add also interceptions. So yeah, you gotta throw it. And so I only had a couple offers mid-year after my first year,
Yeah.
and it was basically between North Dakota and Texas State, but I was being recruited by a school at Texas State where the staff was getting fired. And so, kind of like, I don't want to say North Dakota was the only choice, but it was at the time like the best choice for the given circumstances.
Yeah.
And So I just kind of like at that point in life, like it was all just like the whole point of JUCO was like get a D1 Scully.
Yeah.
You know, there's no second thought. And so whether it was in North Dakota or
Mo-
California or North Korea, bro, like I was going if it was Division 1, you know? And so it really didn't matter. And so once I got there and realized like, oh damn, it's like -20 for a month and a half straight out here, like life became a little different. And it's weird to reflect on it now, which was literally like almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time, like it was the Division 1 spot where I could possibly start the next year, which I ended up doing, and so that was the first choice, you know.
Yeah. What was just like, I know you kind of touched on it, but what was like living like in North Dakota? Like what were the people like, I don't know. I've never been there.
Yeah, dude, I mean, I looking back on it now, I'm super sad it like didn't work out there because it would have been a really cool like college town and college city just because the bars were all like in the exact same area downtown. So like when you went out at night, everybody was like within like a mile radius, so you kind of got to know everybody. Um, People were like n nice, but not like over the top nice or anything, you know, like they were just cool or whatever. And then, I mean, the hardest part to get adjusted was just the weather because
Yeah.
it would start to snow in like November when it would normally snow anywhere else, but then it just got cold, and
Yeah.
so like pretty much all January, like it's -20 at least. Like we had a couple days of school canceled because it'd be like -40,
Yeah. It's
and
um,
so like that was tough. But even then, you get used to like wearing a big jacket, big hat, big scarf, and
yeah.
getting to it. But I'd say the weather and like for the most for the people were cool while I was there.
Yeah. And then how did you end up going to University of New Haven? I don't know if you know, I'm from West Haven actually.
Oh, I knew you were Connecticut. We I thought we talked. Yeah, we touched on that maybe that first time we talked or whatever. Yeah, dude, that's an even crazier story, man. It's like I don't know how I got to New Haven to be honest. Like it. I mean, I think that might be a common theme for some people who get there. But although I like New Haven, and I took a semester off because I was going to transfer from North Dakota to Illinois State, and just transcripts and some stuff got screwed up last minute there. And so it would have been too late to transfer anywhere else for that 2011 season or 2012 season.
Yeah.
I forget. And so I was at home for a semester, knew I had to go D2. And so I just literally started researching like who has a senior quarterback, who throws the ball a lot, who makes the playoffs, and then like who has cool uniforms, and like just went, down the line like that. And like the answer for each of those topics was New Haven. It like just lost in the quarterfinals. They had a senior quarterback and um, dope uniforms, dope field,
Blue.
and they went, yeah, and yeah, they blew turf, dude, and they threw the ball, and so it was like, it was weird. It was like I knew that was where I was gonna go, like the second I clicked on the profile or the website,
Yeah. Yeah.
and but dude, I probably messaged like 30 to 40 D2 schools, figuring like someone would like want to take a chance on a former D1 QB who'd started, 7 games,
Mm.
and surprisingly like didn't get hardly any emails back or like any responses.
Mhm.
And New Haven was like the only one that were like really, really interested, and somehow like kind of hustled them into flying me out for a visit. And like the whole time kind of playing poker with, telling them like, yeah, well, I have these other couple D2 schools that I'm talking to,
Yeah.
and yada, which was true. I didn't have any offers or anything.
Yeah.
And so by the end of it, I had like a little private workout on the visit and killed it. And so by the end, they were like, all right, well, we want you. And ended up making it work between athletic and academic money.
Mhm.
So and then I was there in like a couple weeks, which was crazy.
Gotcha. What
And
about
then
what was the biggest difference just like living on the West Coast to the East Coast?
mm, I would just say that like on the East Coast, people like people get the rep, or East Coast people or Northeast people get the rep of like assholes or whatever, you know, but like I don't really view it that way, just more so that like people in Northeast, like they have their schedule, and if you mess up their schedule, then they're gonna tell you about it. You know, like there's no like maybe on the West Coast, Seattle especially, we're like more passive aggressive and maybe won't say something if, you know, you are taking too long at the cafe or whatever, but it seemed like in Connecticut and on the East Coast, like if you were taking too long, be like, hey man, hurry up. You know, like there would be like this sense of like, come on, like let's, you know, just that fast-paced kind of East Coast lifestyle. And but you know, the reputation is that people are assholes, but I didn't find it that way because it was just like, all right, you're on your schedule enough. I get you off it, then you have the right to let me know.
I gotcha. What was your experience like overall at UNH? Actually, you know what's crazy? I've
Um,
never been to Blue.
yeah.
I never been there, even though I live there.
No? Oh
Yeah,
shit, really? Dude, the game day atmosphere for New Haven, like at least in the Northeast and the schools that we went to was, I mean, the best football game day atmosphere, like hands down, like especially when we're good. Like it was fun. The overall experience at New Haven though, I didn't really feel like I fit in too well there, just in terms of like multiple reasons. Like my senior year when I was playing, I think we only had one other senior on the offense and like two on the defense. We
yeah,
were a really, really young, we were a super young team, and I was like a 24, 25-year-old senior. And so just like that like gap of like maturity in a way was I didn't like have any like real homies on the team. Um, the honestly the most fun thing I did at New Haven while I was there was I played on the baseball team my senior year.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. So
just like just randomly like would always see the coach in the weight room like throughout my career, always tell him like, yo, coach, if you need a, you know, a shortstop who can hit a buck 80, like I'm your guy, you know, and um, just one day after the season, he was like, hey, Bradley, you said you played shortstop? I was like, oh shit, he's like serious right now. Like this is, it's like, yeah. And somehow, long story short, we got a little deal worked out, and I've played for him that following spring. I mean, I didn't really play. I had like four at bats and you
how
know, like 2 innings in the field. But
that
yeah.
make that happen? Because like that's
So,
hard. That's just hard for anybody to play two sports. Like, how'd you make that happen? I'm saying.
dude, I mean, like I luckily I've always been really good in the field at
Yeah,
shortstop, and then I mean, and then more luckily was, I guess, I just had the right timing with, I don't know if it was like one guy got kicked out of school, one guy flunked out, and one guy transferred. And so
yeah,
they literally had no one else who had ever played shortstop on the roster. And so for a D2 school, you know, it's tough with not like you can just pick somebody up, and they already had a really good dude playing shortstop, so you couldn't like recruit a guy to come in and play over him. And so I was kind of like the perfect little like
yeah.
situation for him because the coach was like, I don't care if you can hit, but if Wally was the shortstop's name, is like if Wally gets hurt, like I need someone who can play in the field.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I can do that for sure.
Okay, that's pretty funny. Actually,
And
yeah,
so, dude, I hadn't played. I didn't even. What the craziest part of that is, bro, I didn't even play my senior year of high school because I hated the coach at my high school, and he was always kind of trying to like he was like kind of trying to get me to quit. Like I don't know, it was just a weird situation. And so the last time I'd played like organized baseball was like '08 or something, '07. And at the time when I was playing for New Haven was like 2015. And so um, it was just like a crazy thing to be like, "Hey, I haven't really done this in like 8 years." And I straight up, first ball on the tee, straight up swung and missed. Like, it's like, oh fuck, what did I just sign up for?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I just looked it up. Played with my boy Al Palmieri.
Al A Palm's your boy for real? I fucking love A Palm, dude.
Yeah, we went to high school.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I that's honestly that's probably he might be one of the last dudes I talked to him not not frequently, but more frequently probably than anyone else that went to New Haven. And yeah, I probably messaged A Palm like a week or two ago, now that I think about it.
that's funny. No, it's
That
funny.
is funny.
I listened to the whole thing when you interviewed Anthony Ireland, and
Okay, right.
it's just funny, like all the connections, and then you were talking about like selling socks in Waterbury, and just like it's just like, funny, like, and yeah, it was, I don't
Dude,
know, crazy. The connections of that's why
yeah,
all the connections, like even just like I don't know, there's always like you can almost like find almost a connection with everybody if you're involved in sports. I feel like
for sure. Yeah, I think what the thing says, it's like I think we're all connected within like six people in the world or seven people, like
it's like,
someone I know that knows someone that knows someone that knows someone, like
yeah,
we're connected to I mean, that's crazy.
I'm getting more.
Maybe,
I'm more. I'm more of believing that like than ever now too.
oh, for sure. No, I mean, it's crazy too, even like when I went to North Dakota or New Haven or
Yeah,
shit, when I've been living in Portugal or Poland, like, my mom or some random family member will be like, "Oh yeah, Joey's over in Poland or something." They're like, "Oh, our grandparents live in the same city that he's living," like just the weirdest little connections.
yeah, yeah. It was actually crazy because when Anthony just went to Portugal this year, I was telling one of my boys, and he was like, "Yo, that's my home city. Like that's where my family lives." And I was like, "Oh,
Damn,
like that's crazy."
that is crazy. No, yeah, that's the world of sports definitely makes the world a smaller place without a doubt, especially now with social.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 So, well, let me ask you this: so how was just like the baseball season, just like traveling with them and stuff, versus like because I know the football team you don't really. I mean, you travel, but the baseball team you got to go to Florida and stuff, right?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, bro, I mean that's what made it so much fun was like the baseball team. Like I just got to be one of the guys.
Yeah, yeah,
With like with the football team, I was senior captain, the old guy on the team. Like I had a lot of pressure on myself,
yeah,
and the rest of the football team was kind of almost looking at it like, well, I think 60% of the starters were sophomores, freshmen. So it's like, hey, this year we're just getting it going. Like next year's our year, and so like for that it was my year. But with baseball, with the travel schedule and being on buses and having to play 2, 3 games a week, like you get to know the guys way better.
yeah,
And yeah, so I mean, like even though I didn't play, which as a competitor sucks, even though like the dude who was playing over me like was way better. Um, like it was just a more enjoyable, that was probably my most enjoyable semester of at least when I was at New Haven,
yeah,
just because like I didn't have this added pressure on myself, and I just got to go be one of the guys and hang out with some dudes that like, there was, let's see, Roy or Colette, there were like five other seniors on that team that was like a good little core. And
yeah.
so I had some hope, like, yeah, I partied way more with the baseball team than I ever did the football team, now that I think about it.
Yeah,
I was I was I was down.
what were your go-to spots in like New Haven and West Haven?
Ooh. Oh shit. Roberti. Do you know Roberti? Brandon Roberti?
No.
Oh darn. I would have been crazy connection too, because that guy. He went to Hand High School, right? Or Hand? Yeah. He was one of but shit, what was the bar? Specs,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking.
Shitty little, yeah, dive bar, pool table, like I'm pretty sure like they didn't card like when I was going there, they wouldn't card anybody, and so like if underclassmen wanted to come and drink there, like you could always get beer there. Um,
I know you had
I
some
didn't. Oh, sorry, you cut out. What'd you say?
Toads nights. I know you went to Toads.
Dude, I think I've only been to Toads one time. Like I said, I got to New Haven too late, like in my college career, because like when I
Yeah.
was in JUCO in Cali and at North Dakota, I was the party guy, going out a few times a week, like getting after it. And by the time I got to New Haven, it wasn't like I just didn't
You're just trying to play football.
want to,
Yeah.
yeah, I would go to the parties and drink, but I wasn't just trying to get crazy with it, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, like in New Haven, yeah,
What
Specs,
what
what
about
bar is the pizza place. Yeah, bar
yeah.
has pizza. Um,
Yeah, what about any favorites?
oh, what was the other shoot, man, it's been so long now, I can't even remember. Um, it has a different name now, but it was cool. It was like a club bar. Oh, shoot, man, I
Oh,
can't.
oh yeah, yeah, you're probably talking about bar.
Bar, yeah, but there was also like a bigger one. Um, damn. It has a weird name now, and it's like super upscale, like super like they're trying to be
Oh, I know,
fancy with it.
Russian lady.
Russian lady. Yes, yes. That if I was gonna get after it, it was the Russian lady for sure.
Yeah, that
Like for sure. Yeah.
on reopened a million times now.
Yeah, with a weird different name every time, right?
Or something now. Yeah, it's crazy there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. So no,
I don't even know.
those spots for what sorry, what'd you say?
I was saying like yeah, it's just like huge in there. It's just like it's like a I don't even know how you describe it. It's just like it looks like old school. Like the I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird vibe.
Yeah, it's a bar, it has the pool tables, has like the upstairs VIP, the back dance floor. Yeah, it had everything. It was weird. But yeah, the Russian lady, I think I've had a couple long nights there.
Yeah, yeah. All right, yeah. Tell me. Oh, what about yeah? Any food spots that you liked?
Food spots. I mean, dude, my favorite thing about the East Coast living there was just like the diner scene and
Okay.
just going to like, I say shitty diner, but
Yeah.
I don't mean just a normal little corner diner. And um, yeah, I always I was like a regular at the one that was across from Specs, right on Campbell.
Mhm.
Um, I forget what its name. And then we'd also go to like I don't know if it was Dominican or Puerto Rican or I think it was Colombian actually. Jerry's just down the road a little bit, still on Campbell also.
Yeah.
And um, had the wing. I'd always order wings from this one place.
Yes.
What was it?
Wings Express, Southern Wings Express.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
yo,
Fire, dude.
they're so underrated because it's just like a hole in the wall spot.
Dude, yeah. If you do takeout there, you literally like walk in there and it's like the cash register and that's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you would never like if
Yeah,
you would never like look at it. You'd just be like, nah.
yeah, I know. Yeah, Southern, yeah, wings. Between wings and diners, that's pretty much what I get. Oh
That's
yeah, and then pizza.
something to-
There was some decent. Dude, I'm pissed at myself that I never like
you didn't try
got
to.
into the true New Haven.
Uh,
Like I tried each one like one or like one time,
yeah.
but especially now that the Stool Prez has like anointed New Haven as like pizza capital of the world.
You know what's crazy? The one it's called Zoo Parties. It's in West Haven. I grew up on that street, and it was like I moved
Uh-huh.
like last year. He was on the street, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like this dude was on my. I lived for like 20 plus years. It's crazy.
Dang, yeah. No, but when I was living there, I didn't really experiment or try any of them, which kind of sucks. Because now everyone's like, "Oh, I mean like it's enough known that like when I tell people I went to University of New Haven, some will say like, "Oh, did you eat the pizza there, you know, if they're a Barstool guy.
Yeah, for sure. Nah, but I feel you on that because once I moved, now I get that pizza all the time. And when I was there, I didn't really get it that much.
Yeah.
But I was always there,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird. I didn't buy into the hype when I was living there, and then I was like, damn, it really, because everyone else hyped it up so much, and I'm
Yeah.
like a weird like anti-follower where it's like, okay, if everyone likes it, then I can't like,
Yeah.
like just the weird,
That's how I was with Derek Jeter. Like
yeah.
I'm a fan, and I was like, nah, I'm picking A-Rod. Like,
I'm picking A-Rod.
uh,
Yeah.
Derek pizza's not.
I don't know if New York pizza's better. Miss something in there. Yeah.
What about oh, so you were saying, so what? They don't have like, you don't have like diners on the West Coast?
Not not really, dude. It's not like a scene like it is in the East. Like we have Denny's and IHOP,
Oh yeah, so
and the joke is like you never want to be in Denny's. Like Denny's just means you've taken a turn for the worst in some way, shape, or form. Um, but other than that, like there's like diners, but they're all like cool diners, and so they're expensive as shit, and so like that's the nicest part about the diners on the East Coast was, the weekday special, you could get hash browns and egg and something else for like, and some coffee for like $3, $4.
yeah.
And over there on the West Coast, it's like
On the
they're
hole
trying
in
to
the
be
wall.
cool.
I was saying the hole in the wall places are the best,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. The spots that like you walk in and it looks like you should walk out, those are normally the best for sure.
pretty much. All right, so going to your football career, I know you've been everywhere, also in the overseas. Like where'd you start off? You're playing in Barcelona now. Where'd you start at?
Yeah, I did 2 seasons in Lisbon, Portugal, and that was just a super random like occurrence to even get there. But Lisbon was probably the place I'd eventually like to move permanently. It's like probably my favorite place I've lived. And then after my second season there, I signed with a team in Poland and was played for that team for 2 years after Portugal. And then 2019, I was signed to play in Finland and ended up just kind of not, what's the best way? Just me and the head coach didn't really see eye to eye with how things were going and how it was gonna go. And so I decided I left before that season started, just out of for my own for my own sake, basically. And then yeah, this last season was in Barcelona. 2020 was Barcelona.
Gotcha. So I know you just said Portugal. That's where you want to move. So you never want to move back to the U.S.
I mean, right now, like I just don't feel like I have a ton of stuff in the US to do. Like I want to travel as much as possible, and um 'cause the US is just so expensive in terms of just like if you wanted to come back and when I do come back, I stay with my mom in Seattle area. Or
Mhm.
actually, one off season I actually coached at New Haven, but like I kind of have a goal right now of like seeing if I can make Europe or not the US like my home. I have I have an Irish citizenship now, so technically I'm European.
All right.
And so that helps a lot with like taxes and if I needed to get another job or whatever. Um, so like I'd like to try and just one, because like I said, I don't feel like I have anything that's like pulling me in the US. And then two, I'd just like to see if I could do it also.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it seems like
and
you're.
so yeah, yeah, I guess I kind of am. It some days it doesn't feel like you're doing it very well, but I guess even if you're not doing it well, you're still doing it. And
Yeah.
so um, no, but Portugal to me, it was the timing and a lot of things coming together at the right time. But Portugal's a good spot.
Yeah. Tell me what's the difference? Like, what are some differences between like American football and then playing European football?
I mean, in terms of rules, everything is the same with the rules and all of that. The biggest difference is probably just like the disparity of skill that's on the field at one time. Because, like, for example, in Portugal, the first year, I've been bored this quarantine, so I was watching some old games. I think everybody in the world's been watching old games of themselves.
Yeah.
But like in our championship game there, we had on my team, we had three American guys. We had me, a running back, and a receiver. And then the other team had like three or four American dudes plus a couple like Serbian guys that played on the Portuguese team. And so at one point, like on the field of the 22 players, I think 10 of them were not from Portugal. And so I guess the what I'm getting at is like you can have like a D1 level American guy on the field, and then also like I mean, although some of the European dudes are legit, like they play really well and could play in the States easily. Um, but sometimes you get a European guy at whatever position that's like probably wouldn't have started on my high school team, you know, and
Oh my.
so it's like this weird, it's like this weird disparity because you have one guy on the team who's like a Division 1 what like
Yeah.
scholarship athlete, and then the other who's getting paid guy who it's just like he's doing it for fun or not getting paid and the skill level. And so it's weird from that standpoint, but it's also kind of cool because like if you it kind of makes strategy more important because like you gotta hide your bad guys and then figure out how to really highlight your good guys. And so, I mean, I guess that's football in general, but even more so out there. But I'd say long answer short, like that's the main thing is just the difference in skill, even on the same field. That's what's crazy.
Like I know. I think aren't you like the offensive coordinator too for the team?
Yeah, so I mean, that's everywhere I've been out here. I mean, and it didn't start like that originally in Portugal. Like I came just as the quarterback, but kind of slowly helped the Portuguese offensive coordinators offense into like becoming a true like offense really. And he was a really smart dude and like really understood management. And after like the first month or two, he was like, "Hey man, like we're gonna be way better with you as the offensive coordinator than me. So I'll just stay as head coach and help the defense out, and you take over the offense." And then pretty much after that, and I had a lot of success with that in Portugal. Um, that's just kind of become my thing, which isn't, I wouldn't say it's like common, but it's not completely rare either.
Yeah.
But it makes me more valuable, because like the budgets over here are super small.
Yeah.
And so if you can get a guy who can do two of the spots, then that makes you worth it even more.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. What about is there like a limit how many American players could be on a team?
Yeah, depending on the country. In Portugal, it was you could have three. In Poland, it was only no, in Portugal you could have I think you could have as many as you wanted in Portugal, but you could only have three on the field at a time. But it's not like any of the teams out there could afford more than, two or three.
Right.
Poland was you're only allowed two on the team and one on the field at the same time. And then Finland is you're allowed three on the team, two on the field at the same time. And Spain this year was other like a flag team. So depending on your budget, kind of you could have more or less Americans, but most of the teams here had like two Americans on the team.
Gotcha. So what they put out there, just like the quarterback, the running back, and the wide receiver is American.
Pretty much, yeah. Like pretty much every team uses an American quarterback.
Yeah.
And then in Spain this year, the most of the other secondary imports would be like receivers that also played DB.
Yeah.
Um, Poland was interesting because they made a rule that you could only have one American on the field at the same time. So like you could never have the American to American receiver quarterback receiver connection.
Okay.
And I think that's helped like grow the skill position players in Poland because in the past, I think that rule had only been in place for like a couple years, and in the past, like it would be American quarterback, running back, and receiver, and they would have 95% of the yards, and then the Polish dudes don't really do shit, and and so then it's like good, it's like feels good to win, but then it's like the game isn't actually growing in the actual country, and so Poland switched it up and shit. To me, I think it's been a good decision for them because to me the best overall players are in Poland, at least from what I've seen.
I gotcha. Um, have you like throughout the years have you played with anybody you know, like overseas?
Hmm. Like I knew them before I went over or
Yeah.
before.
Going from
Um,
in them or anything?
let's see here.
Or what about
I
is
don't
there
think I've
or like you heard of before and they're playing versus you or with you or whatever?
so my first in Portugal, the 2 years that I played there, the other American on my team was this guy named Colin Franklin, and
Hmm.
I didn't hear about him or anything before, but he played tight end at Iowa State and was like one of the top tight ends coming out of his year. He
Yeah.
kind of honestly just got screwed with his timing of he's like a 6'6" receiving tight end that
Mhm.
was trying to get into the NFL when tight ends only run blocked, and so
Yeah.
um, I played with him for 2 years, and so like I remember when I don't know, I think he was signed before me or we signed at the same time and it was kind of cool to like see like, all right, I got this dude who used to play in the league for a couple years. He's going to be out there. Um,
Yeah.
and
So
then there's been a few dudes.
were you
Oh
guys
yeah, sorry, go for it.
were you guys crushing it?
Oh, bro, yeah, that's my fucking guy. Like I mean, he had been, a tight end in college where you're maybe getting the ball like 3, 4 times a game.
Yeah.
And then when he was in the league, he was like practice squad, like
Yeah.
third tight end, just in for blocking, power run. And he had slimmed down a little bit and he could go up and get it. And I think, man, we played the 2 years together. And I think in 2 years we had like 40 or 50 touchdowns together, something stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Some Tom Brady, Randy
Like,
Moss.
dude, yes, for real. And he was, I mean, he was, I, I would take me and him versus like any American defenses, and like let alone going up against somewhat of a lesser competition at times. Like he was easily my most fun guy I've played with.
Gotcha. What about it seems like you really know the football, like the game, and obviously you being the offense coordinator. So would you ever want to coach like full time?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got into like my initial idea when I first started playing, when I first graduated college was like eventually I want to coach in the league. Like
Yeah.
that's where I want my career to go. And so like the first couple years doing the QBOC thing, I'm like, I'm getting to still play, which is what I love to do,
Yeah.
but I'm also the OC. I'm building these,
Production.
characteristics and things that I need to do for when I'm just a coach. And then I coached running backs at New Haven one of my off seasons. And honestly, after coaching at New Haven, which not anything to the school or the players or whatever, just the the schedule required to be at least a college coach
Yeah.
nowadays is just crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. And at this point in my life, I want to do some other shit right now.
Yeah.
And so I I wouldn't say like being a coach isn't my goal, but it's just not the immediate goal right now. I have a couple other things that are in front of it that I'd like to, check whatever those things are. And then once I'm more committed on settling down somewhere, um, I'd be down to like really get the coaching thing going. Or if it meant to like this next 2021, I'm trying to figure out a place I can be like quarterback and head coach out here, and kind of again just taking that next step because
Yeah,
it's like I like to I feel I have a decent way of doing things and kind of know the way to organize, especially out here in Europe where
yeah,
sometimes the knowledge of the game and just knowledge of how to prepare isn't so high. That like I just want that. I'll be honest, like I like being in control. I like, I have no problem doing it someone else's way as long as that way makes sense.
yeah.
And so um, yeah, later on down the line, I'd see myself coaching. It's
Mhm.
just right now, it's uh, it's just too much time commitment for me.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you. Yeah, so tell me, going into that, tell me about your YouTube channel and your videos and stuff. I mean, your ad name is Living for a Living, so
Yeah, man. So I just like, and it's been recent, literally in the last like week or maybe 2 weeks now, 3 weeks now. Um, like I was in shit, I'm bouncing all around. I was in Nepal for about a month with one of my best friends that I made while living in Lisbon, actually.
mhm.
Um, and so I was in Nepal with him maybe a year and a half ago. And while I was like went into it camera, like had done some kind of vlogs and things, video things before that, but was okay, this is going to be my thing, and have been editing those videos pretty much the last like year that I've been home and posting them on YouTube with not much traction or awareness or anything. And
Mhm.
shit, in the last like 2, 3 weeks, I'm not exactly sure why, but one of them kind of blew up for me
Mhm.
and got, I think it's at like 55,000 views right now. And so slowly the rest of the series has gotten some traction, and shit, I guess at this point now the YouTube's monetized, which has been
Yeah,
like a really quick turnaround and really cool. But I guess to like answer your question, it's just like I have no I don't have a huge desire to like make a lot of money at this point in life. Like I'm just, and when I'd be back home in Seattle, whether after graduating or whenever, people love to do the line of like, well, what do you do for a living? That's kind of, especially like right out of college, like that's
yeah,
like kind of the icebreaker that like guys like to talk about, at least I feel like. And I always felt weird saying, yeah, I play football abroad, or oh, I do this or do that. And someone, I think I forget what it was. I was just like, shit, I'm living for a living. And I
yeah,
said that to someone in just a random person in conversation, and like their reaction was like, "Oh, like that's cool." Like I don't know, maybe they thought I was a dick. I don't know. Um, and once I got that, I was like, "Ooh, there's kind of like I like the way it sounds," and I like eventually just like kind of made it the brand,
yeah,
and slowly but surely kind of got some things moving forward with that. And this quarantine time has been a challenge mentally at times just to stay sane, but also it's been super nice just to have the time and like I'm forced into thinking about secondary ways to, support my life, not just football.
yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, I'm sure you're getting a lot of editing done too now.
Dude, yeah, at this point I need a break from editing.
Yeah, I
I
feel you.
go
That's why.
I'm not very good at like, yeah, go for it.
No, oh yeah, I was gonna say that's why when I hit you up last week, I was like, bro, I gotta take a break from these lives, and then I still did three lives, and then I was just like, because I'm like, I can't say no because it's just like a perfect opportunity to just keep on doing them, pretty much.
For sure, yeah. And I mean, I like this live feature with the split screen. Like it's a cool, especially like I've been trying to kind of figure out a way to like, you know, say what's up to the audience, because people can type and say what's up and like kind of, but you still want the conversation between the two people actually talking to flow, like there's some format in this live thing that I think could be really cool, like moving forward for the future.
Yeah, so they just added it. I knew it was rolling out. They just added that once this ends, now it just you could put it straight to your IGTV. But I've been putting them on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I've been ripping them, and putting them on YouTube every day because I mean that's why not?
Ah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
so when this ends as a live, yeah, because I did a live on my channel maybe a month ago or so. So
yeah.
when it ends, you can make it an IGTV like that, huh? Oh,
Now
that's sweet.
that's cool, but I like going back. I just edit like I don't edit the whole thing. I just edit the beginning and the end because the beginning is usually weird because you're signing on and doing all weird stuff.
Right. Ah, right.
Funny.
Yeah, and yeah, always that. Hey, can you hear me? No, I can't hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the other thing that I took away from your podcast, so Anthony, that quote that you said about the heartbeat.
Oh, yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
saying that to people, so like that stuck with me from when you said it.
Dude, yeah, that I got that from one of my homies from Nepal that I'd just done a podcast with like before the one with Anthony,
Mhm.
and he said this thing, the thing in medical trauma, or because he was like a doc or like a nurse or whatever. He's like, life's like a heartbeat and always going up and down. He's like, as soon as that shit goes flat, like you don't have life basically.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's I mean, I'm sure you realize this or you get this, but that's what I've had so much fun doing with like the podcast and this kind of type of world is like you take like one thing from each conversation that you have that like you can really apply and like remember on.
yeah,
And yeah,
yeah,
it's cool to have it like filmed too.
yeah. I don't know about you, but most of the time, like after I do a podcast, I feel like motivated or like pumped up about like their story or whatnot. So that's like I just keep on doing them too.
Yeah, hell yeah, for sure. For sure.
Oh, my other question is actually I forgot one other kid that I knew played at UNA. I knew somebody else. Brett Parento. Was he there when you were there?
BP, yeah, yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, yeah, BP, he was like one of, because we transferred in at the same time. And
Oh yeah,
so he was like he
I went.
was one of the guys that like I knew.
Yeah, yeah, and he was older too because I went to Sacred Heart with him.
Ah, okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it
Yeah,
was fun.
BP,
Then I'm
that
at
was
my
my guy.
like 4th of July right in West Haven, and then I'm like looking. I'm like, yeah, that's Brett over there. Dude was living like across the street from my boy, and I was just like, yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
This was recently?
No, like when you guys were in school.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, because man, I haven't talked to Brett. He never got to really play it. His knee was always messed up.
He what you
But
call it?
yeah. Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Ah.
crazy,
Yeah,
right?
no, yeah, dang. No, good old BP, dude. I did SantaCon with him in Stamford. Was that where the SantaCon is? Yeah, I did a SantaCon with him in Stamford and I lost my wallet and had to go get the wallet from the bar the next day. Shit, I
Oh,
forgot about that.
it's crazy too. I think for some reason I was subscribed. I think I'm subscribed. I just subscribed to your channel, but I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed on my other page. And I saw your. I don't know if you posted it or I just saw it on YouTube, and I was just like, damn, like he had mad view. Like I remember checking it, and it only had a couple hundred views, and then one of the videos. That's why I was just like, what? Yeah. So what did happen with that video? It just caught on.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I think it was like the first time that I've ever tried to do like a somewhat clickbait title.
Yeah.
Um, and so I made the title, what was it? Poor Country, Rich Heart, which I'd literally gotten from one of my buddy the Nepalese dude I did the podcast with. And basically he said, like poor countries, the people in them tend to have big hearts because it's not like you have much materials growing up, and so you kind of have to have this like inner love for family and friend.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I put that as the title, not really thinking anything of it, thinking, maybe I get 100 views like normal. And I don't know, like a day or two later, like my buddy shared it, my Nepalese homie shared it, and one of his friends commented on it like oh, the title kind of suck. The title's kind of annoying or whatever.
Yeah.
And as soon as he said that, I was like, there, maybe this will be something. And then like within that day, like I think that day it got like 1,000 or 2,000 views or something. And it just like it was crazy, dude. It was wild in the sense of like refresh. And like I said, it's not even like crazy viral compared to some other stuff, but like for me it was. And
Yeah, viral.
dude, just yeah, dude, and just refreshing, hitting
Yeah.
refresh and seeing like the subscriber go up like 30 each time I hit refresh was wild, like super, like I couldn't really believe it was going on. And
Yeah.
so then like once that happened, I was like, more looking into like thumbnails and like all the like little like metric kind of things to YouTube.
Yeah.
And like I said, I had plenty of time on my hands. And so just kind of playing around and experience with that. And then people, I'm back. Was that
Yep.
that was me?
No. It just ends after an hour. So, but the timing,
Ah.
yeah, it said 30 seconds. I was about to tell you, and then it just shut off. Seconds. So,
I was like, I didn't know. I was like, shit, I think my
yeah,
phone was like about to die. And I was like, damn it, did my phone just die?
yeah, mine is too. I just wanted to finish that topic, and then we could wrap it up. What you were just talking about,
Yeah,
just
yeah, for sure. Yeah, what was I? I was talking
your,
about YouTube. I don't really, where was I?
your YouTube blowing up, and then the clickbait, and then you were like, oh, like, so this is working, and they're getting a little. So yeah,
Yeah.
I I feel the same way. Like I don't like doing the clickbait, and then I did it for this basketball player Ben Gordon because he said he hated Duke. I was like, yeah, I'm taking this clip. So I took it and I put it, and I even put it on TikTok too. And I was like, I don't know if any kind of like voiceover type thing is going to do good on TikTok. Blew up on TikTok, got like 30,000 views, and I was just like, what the hell? So then yeah, and then it went
Dude.
get it picked up by like a bigger thing, but it didn't. But I mean, he still said he said I hated Duke and I hate Coach K. So that was great.
Yeah, man. No, it's like I agree with you. It's like I don't want to like I don't want that to be my thing or like whatever because there's a few vlogger guys that have played football over in Europe that like there's kind of a real common thing. I don't know if it's just that they say like American does this in Germany or
Yeah,
using the line of like American does this or whatever and like I don't like that like I don't want that to be my thing at all but at the same time it's like shit well
it's gonna blow up.
if it's gonna get me if it's gonna be the difference between like no one seeing it and like a ton of people seeing it then I guess it is worth it and I kind of like finally once I got this little bit of success or whatever, I was kind of like, well, shit, like I'm playing this game, like I might as well like learn some of the rules to the game and learn, some of the little tips and tricks so I can play the game better. Because like I said, at this point now with the channel being monetized, like if I could make it maybe not the main source of income, but like some source of income, like
Yeah,
I'll play it. I'll learn the rules. I'll play the game.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, even you could do like a clickbait one and then put up the real video that you wanted to put up like right after. Just be like,
Exactly. Yeah. And so doing I just knew, I the podcast up on the YouTube and I don't know if I'm conflicting interests with having the vlog and the podcast under the same name. I just didn't want to have to do like I didn't want to have to have a podcast one, a vlog, YouTube, I didn't want to have all the different, it's all me. And so, hopefully, hopefully the podcast one can blow up eventually too.
yeah, I feel
Like,
like
like,
that's what I always decide. I'm like, yo, so when I first created my Average to Savage podcast, I put it on my PG Sports channel. But a main reason why I made it is because I didn't want to interview only sports like athletes, and I wanted to interview like entrepreneurs and whatever. So that's why. So then I was like, all right, I guess I got to make after like 37 episodes. I was like, all right, I guess I got to make a different YouTube channel. But then it was
ah,
not that many subscribers, but it was getting like it still gets like way more views on the PG Sports page. rather than the other one, but whatever. So now I put everything on separate things. Besides this one, this one goes on the PG Sports thing. But now it's funny too because now I'm putting like podcasts on there, and then I have like commercial type videos for like my clothing. So then I'm like, but now I'm like, fuck it, like who cares? I don't even care.
Yeah. I mean, and I think if you can like set up and customize the channel in the right way, that
Yeah.
I mean,
I got everything.
it'll all work.
Whatever. Yeah, I got everything in the playlist.
Yeah.
Screw it.
Yeah, exactly. And if people want to see it, they're gonna see it, you know.
And yeah, the other good thing that like a lot of people don't do is when they blow up, then they stop posting videos, or they just don't have other content that people could see. So that was good that then that's why you're getting new views from the older videos because you have old content.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I don't know how to say this without sounding like arrogant. It's like when I was editing and doing those videos, I was like, this shit is sick. Like, this is gonna blow up, you know, like I kept thinking like someone's gonna like this. And after like 3-4 months of just like nothing, I was like, ah, well, you know, I still like it. Like it's for me anyway.
Yeah.
And
How about
so it would.
have you ever felt like this is sick, and then you make a shitty one, and then you're like, yo, this one sucks, and that one blows up, or like gets more views
Dude,
all the time?
yeah, it makes no sense, dude. Like it's weird how like when you're honestly the one, well, I knew that like the beginning of the video that blew up was special. Like I just had a kind of feeling that like, ooh, this one, like when I was editing it with the music, like things were going the right way. But in comparison with a few of the other ones, like the actual content in the video is not as good as other ones, but the other ones haven't, you know, so it's just a weird, it's always like you think that your next one is going to be the big one, and then the one you think that's just the one you're getting through turns into being the big one.
Yeah, exactly. What about are you on TikTok?
I am on TikTok. I
Watch,
I
start
just
posting.
haven't figured.
You're gonna see that like that stuff happens all the time. Like,
Dude, I've tried, like I just don't know what to like. I don't know what my lane is on TikTok yet. And I know
yeah, me
like
either.
I'm a big Gary V guy, and
Yeah.
you know, he says just like post whatever you would post.
Mhm.
Thing isn't my thing, but at the same time, I wish it kind of was. And I don't know about I don't know. But I like TikTok. I probably look at TikToks for at least 30 minutes of my day, and I just need to kind of make more probably, you know, and figure out, because I think podcast, I think like like all the content can do well there. It's just kind of figuring out exactly like how to package it.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly how I feel about like my personal stuff. Like, because I want to be like funny, like do funny stuff, but
Yeah,
I want to do like the business stuff too because like I do have a lot of experience and stuff. So it's just like, and like I say stuff like in my head or like I do stuff, but I never like really write it down and just like, and then but that could be like valuable, obviously, content. But like
for
it's just crazy because like literally you get
no, and
everything, like everything's valuable. Like imagine you're making a video of you editing and showing people how to edit. Like boom.
true. Yeah, true. And the thing with like the vlog going big on, you know, like I hadn't put much time or consideration into YouTube over the last like 5 or 10 years, you know, like I'd upload it there, but then it was like, then I share it on Facebook and I share it on Instagram. And, you know, like I was more concerned about, you know, getting followers on Instagram or
Yeah.
getting people to like it on Facebook. And then it finally like dawned on me, it was like YouTube is like its
Yeah.
own huge platform that has like a huge community. And you know, to me now I feel like Instagram is slowly like becoming this weird, like obviously I'm still on Instagram as we do this here, you know, and I still check my page, but Instagram, shit, I don't even know what to post sometimes on Instagram nowadays. Like I don't know. It used to be like I used to have fun trying to be like artsy, posting a picture that's edited nice. Um, And now it's like, I don't know, what do I post pictures of myself? Do I do that? It's like, it's kind of fair game or whatever. But
Yeah.
I just realized that, depending on whatever content you're producing, like trying to make it big on Instagram or trying to make it big on you, like you might be on the wrong platform in general. Like one of my homies out here in Spain who created my logo had been doing, he's like a graphic designer, and he'd been doing like step by steps on how to create, or how he creates his
Yeah.
animations or whatever. And it's interesting, but like no one on Instagram wants to like scroll through 6 slides to see the
Yeah.
slight little differences. And I messaged him, I was like, bro, like put that
That's
same thing, but on YouTube, where someone's going to search how to do whatever, and he's like, yeah, you're right. And same thing like TikTok, like what's cool on TikTok isn't cool on Instagram. What's cool on Instagram isn't cool on YouTube. There's it's like a, what's that thing? Like a Venn diagram or whatever. Like there's like, they all are separate circles and they have like overlapping parts to them.
yeah.
But um, other than that, like what's cool on one platform might not be cool on another one. And so you might be a loser on Instagram and go on TikTok and all of a sudden you're cool. I don't know.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And this,
It's
with this podcast, what I'm calling it, I guess the other thing is funny because nobody uses vodcast, which is the technical term because it's a video podcast, but nobody uses that,
Ah,
which is
I hadn't even heard of that. Yeah.
interesting. I don't know why people don't use it. I mean, I guess it's just like .com, like everyone, there's like .co, but everyone associates everything with .com.
Right.
And, and yeah, so I put it on YouTube, and I'm not even really like promoting it like that, and I'm still getting like a couple views. And I'm like, all right, this is cool. And now that I'm doing more video for my other podcast now, and I was always promoting just the audio, just so
Okay. Okay.
YouTube channel more. So I think like now I can't do audio only now anymore. I don't know if you were,
Right. Yeah.
but now after
Yeah.
during this quarantine, yeah, I can't do audio anymore now. And now I was like, yo, how was I doing that? That's like weird. Like I was just talking to a stranger like on the, and I was just like, what? Like, so it's crazy.
Yeah, that is, it's interesting. Um, yeah, just doing audio. Although it's weird too, because normally if I consume a podcast, I just listen to it in my headphone. Although I do
Yeah.
like to watch specific ones, I do like to watch. Um, but that's been a trip of like just every now and then I go on a walk or whatever, and I download my latest podcast that I did, and just like listening to myself while I'm walking. And podcast do you listen to? What podcast do you just like? Curious when I talk to fellow
Uh,
podcasters about what
I
got into are.
yeah, I like Josh Hart's podcast, the basketball player. He interviews people, so it's not just basketball players. So that one's cool. Um, I think I probably started the podcast because I always like listen to interviews on YouTube, which is ironic. And I was putting them on YouTube. I wasn't promoting the YouTube. And then I don't listen to Joe Rogan's. Um, just like I think that's a thing like we were talking about way before when like I know because everybody listens to it. I don't listen to it. Um,
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
uh, I listen to one of my boys at the local. It's called the Famously Average. They do a weekly one and talk about like all like pop culture stuff, like what's happening right now. So I like that because they're just like they just keep it real and they're just two dudes from Connecticut. Um,
That's cool.
and then who else do I listen to? Oh, I was listening to A-Rod's when he had the one with Barstool because those are dope. It was A-Rod.
Oh, I haven't seen those.
Got to listen to A-Rod and Big Cat interview Kobe. Fire. That one's
Okay, I'll check that out. Yeah.
different because like when you see two elite players interviewing each other, that's just a different beast because you know they coach.
Yeah, and yeah, and there's like a added respect factor to
And it's
both
like
sides because normally, yeah.
about questions that me and you are not going to think about.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Stuff like
Yeah,
that.
no doubt.
What else do I listen to? I don't know. I feel like I listen to it based on, sometimes listen to it based on, sometimes I just search who I want to listen to interview. I like listening to interviews. Like, I don't like listening
Yeah.
to like comedies or sci-fi, whatever. I'm just like, what? I don't understand. Like, I'll watch a movie then, like, if I'm trying to do something like that. I think I lost him. You there? Yeah, yeah, you hear me? No, you're back.
There we go.
It's all good. Yeah, why? Which ones do you listen to?
I guess ironically, I was a Joe Rogan guy, like big, like that's probably like
Yeah.
what got me into even knowing what podcasts were. Although I haven't really listened to him much recently. The one I listen to like religiously now is Theo Vaughn. It's called This Past Weekend, comedian, and like it's kind of a blend between like comedy, and then he also just kind of talks about his life and like his feel, like it's kind of personal in a way, you know, shit he's going through, what he's thinking, like he keeps it really real.
Yeah.
So I like those, and then I guess it's not technically, I don't know, is it a like the Dan Patrick Show? It's, I guess, not really a podcast, but I consume it in the same way that I'd consume a podcast, you know, and I mean, in a sense, I guess podcast is just like a radio show, more or less, you know. And that was like
You
when
know
I
that's
first was
in
starting.
Milford.
Oh, really? Oh, I did know that. Yeah, I did know
You
that
know,
actually. Yeah.
all right, so did you ever
What?
go to you went to downtown Milford before, right? All right, there you are.
There we go. We're straight. There's the malls in Milford, right?
Yeah, but I
No.
mean, like you ever been to oh my God, like Stonebridge?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yo, it was right. It was right over there. It was above Subway. It used to be above Subway. That's where the Dan Patrick. That's how crazy.
Damn. Damn. Yeah, I loved the Dan Pat. I haven't listened to him in a while, but
Uh,
that was my,
my
if
teacher,
I was gonna do sports, that was them.
yeah, one of my teachers at Sacred Heart is on the Dan Patrick Show. Paul Paps.
Oh, what? He was your teacher?
Yeah, he was my professor in grad school.
What? That's what did he teach? You cut out. I'm asking something you already answered.
I think it was sports journalism.
Oh, rad. Yeah, I like Pauly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
so that
he
was
might
cool.
be actually my favorite one of the Danettes. But yeah, I late for
Yeah.
me it's mainly Theo Vaughn, and then he does one with Brendan Schaub, like ex UFC fighter, now
Yeah.
comedian, and it's called King and the Sting. And those, I mainly listen to it. It's kind of funny. I think I might listen to it for the opposite reason that you do. Like I normally listen, I like interviews, but then I'm sometimes like listening to just people be idiots basically and take my mind off of something, off of anything else.
Yeah, the IT guy is from Shoots. Yeah, my boy Mario actually. But yeah, well, I appreciate
That's
And I think we could probably talk forever now, but
We could, bro. We easily could.
yeah, I appreciate you coming on. We'll definitely be in touch. We'll have to do it again, part 2 or something.
No doubt, bro.
Yeah,
Appreciate you having me, man.
have a good one.
Alrighty, man. Much love. Take care.